If I could save a company $1 million a year on the security budget, this is how I would do it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to CyberPod Solution. In this video, we're going to talk about a crucial skill for anyone looking to protect their systems and data from cyber threats. Whether you are a cybersecurity enthusiast, developer, researcher, or just someone interested in keeping your online presence secure, this video is for you. Let's get started. What is threat modeling? So, threat modeling is a systematic, repeatable procedure used in application security to obtain useful information on a system's security features, right? It entails creating a security model of a system, using this model to detect relevant risk, and coming up with the countermeasures for these threats. Threat modeling examines a system, emphasizing vulnerabilities that an attacker may exploit. Now, early in the SDLC, ideally during the design phase, is when threat modeling is carried out. Furthermore, it is not a one time event that is repeatedly indefinitely. Now, agenda for our today's video is going to be why it is important, system modeling, basic of threat modeling, and the common frameworks. We're going to discuss them. Now, why is threat modeling important? You might be wondering, well, every system, whether it is a website, an app, or a corporate network, everything has vulnerabilities, right? And now to answer the question that why we need it, first is definitely to identify the risk early on. Right, threat modeling seeks to identify potential security issues during the design phase, and this allows the security to be built into a system rather than bolted on. Right, this is far more efficient than having to identify and solve the security flaws after a system is in production. And second would be increased security awareness. Like proper threat modeling requires participants to think creatively, critically about the security and threat landscape of a specific application. It challenges individuals to think like an attacker and apply general security knowledge to a specific context. It is also typically a team effort with members being encouraged to share ideas and provide feedbacks on others. Right. Now, it requires a deep understanding of the system. Uh, we have like improved visibility of target of evaluation. That is understanding of the system which is to be evaluated. Like to properly threat model, one must understand data flows, trust boundaries, and other characteristics of the system. So first step of threat modeling is usually system modeling. The what are we building question is the focus of the system model process. Understanding Understanding a system is essential for determining which dangers are most relevant to it. Hence, this phase lays the groundwork for further actions, while there are other methods that may be applied in this initial phase of threat modeling. DFDs, data flow diagrams, are perhaps the most often utilized, right? With just a few basic symbols, DFDs enable the visual modeling of a system and their interactions with data and other elements. DFDs may be produced with general purpose diagramming programs like Draw.io, with specialized threat modeling tools like Microsoft's threat modeling tool or OWASP Threat Dragon. And multiple DFDs can be required depending on the size and complexity of the system being represented. For instance, a DFD detailing the high level overview of the entire system may be made. In addition, many more specialized DFDs that go into depth on create or certain substance. Technical tools are not always required in certain cases, and whiteboarding might be adequate. However, it is best to have the DFDs in a format that is simple to maintain, consult, and update as needed. Now, coming to the basics of threat modeling, first is to identify the asset. Whatever you're trying to protect, this could be anything from user data, intellectual property to critical infrastructure. Second would be to create an architecture overview. We create a high level diagram of your system, and this helps visualize the flow flow of data and where potential vulnerabilities might lie. Third would be to identify the threats. Like once you have an overview, the next step is to brainstorm all the potential threats. What could go wrong? How could an attacker gain unauthorized access, and so on. Then it would be to mitigate and validate those threats. Finally, for each identified threat, determine the mitigation strategies. Like implement these measures and test them to ensure that they effectively reduce or eliminate the risk. Now, coming to some common frameworks that we can use to guide our threat modeling process. So, these are the few like very popular ones. We have Stride, we have Dread, we have Pasta, and each framework has its own strengths and is suited for different scenarios. But we are going to cover Stride today. So, Stride is a mature and a very popular threat modeling technique, and originally, it was developed by Microsoft, but to facilitate threat identification, Stride grouped threats into one of six general prompts, and engineers are encouraged to systematically consider that how these general threats may materialize within the context of the specific system being evaluated. Now, each stride threat may be considered a violation of a desirable security attribute, and the categories and associated desirable attributes are as follows. Here we can see spoofing, tampering, repudiation, information disclosure, denial of service, and lastly, elevation of privileges. And there you have it, folks. A quick introduction to threat modeling for beginners. Remember, the key to effective cybersecurity is being proactive, not reactive. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below if you have any questions or if there is a specific topic that you would like us to cover next. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. And as always, stay safe online.